Michigan. And I was introduced to Al, and really to Motown more. I mean, I grew up with Motown because I grew up in Michigan, but Al was actually introduced to me by a student, a guy named Dylan Green, who found some of Al's papers, some of the press releases of the early history of Motown in our library, the Bentley Library in Michigan, which is the State of Michigan Historical Library. And you know, I think it was emblematic of Al and his heart that he embraced this kid who was actually a sophomore at the time. He was studying in a special summer program, and he managed to call Al up down in Findlay, Ohio. And Al made a time and met with him and was interviewed by him. And so I was reading the student's paper, and there was this incredible resource, this guy who had just an amazing ability to tell stories about Motown. And so Nancy and Al would come up to my class pretty much every year.
I actually stopped coming up. I mean, I dropped Al off.
You dropped Al off? I don't know, you were Al's biggest fan. You were always there with the camera, always documenting everything. But Al would tell the story of how he joined the Motown Corporation. As you know, he was the first press officer, the first employee of Motown before Motown was even Tamla, when it was the Arbor Music Writing Corporation. And Al had basically gotten the brush off from Berry Gordy, right? He was a high school kid. He was, what, 17 years old, I think, at the time, maybe 18. And basically Berry gave Al the worst record he had in the bin and said, kid, if you can get this on the radio, you can get a job. And so Al, being Al, went out, I think it was Tireman Road, as he would tell the story. It was Memorial Day weekend. So it was the weekend, the radio stations were doing a location broadcast. And he basically stood outside this DJ's window for the next 6 hours, constantly knocking, saying, can you play, mister? Can you play this record? Mister, can you play this record? And of course, eventually he did. Just probably to get rid of the kid yet one more time.
Excuse me?
Yes?
I'm the guy that he played the...
I do really? You were there, so this is secondhand information. So, being a historian, we always go to the primary source whenever we can.
Well, you get to be as old as I am, you got a problem. Anyway, my name is Chuck Daugherty. And this was in 1959, as I recall.
59, yeah.
And what Al didn't know, and I'm not sure if Barry knew it or not, well, Barry probably did, you couldn't get records played. That was they had the beginnings of Formula Radio, Top 40, and you had a playlist. The program director picked the records and said, here's the order in which they will be played, and you had no choice. I happened to be lucky in that at that time, Coca-Cola came in. Well, they had this disc jockey thing that they did. They picked the #1 disc jockey in the 10 top stations. Well, they got hard up and picked me in Detroit. I don't know why. But anyway, part of the contract with the station is that the disc jockeys had the purview to play whatever they think